Hello guys, welcome back to another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message reads like this. Hello, how are you, brother? I am a pastor's wife, and this is my confession. I have been following your journey on this platform, and I have watched so many confessions about fake pastors, and today I have decided to tell my own story. After watching the video that you posted on white parties, I was very impressed that I should share my own story. I am not proud of the things that I have done in the past, but the reason for posting it is to let off my chest, as I have no one to open up to, and the church members look up to me thinking that I had a very perfect life. No, I do not. My husband is a pastor in these Pentecostal churches. I saw him grow from that day one to what he is today. At first, he had the Spirit of the Lord. He worshipped the Lord with all his strength. He was indeed a devoted Christian, but there was no growth in his financial life. The story is not about him, but about me. How his fake life and spiritualism pushed me away from him till I ended up cheating on my own husband. He then started joining cults and doing what other fake pastors do. I was just a spectator watching him like I was watching a soccer match on TV. The man learned serious business, doing all the evil things that you can never imagine, so that he can just rise up the prophetic ladder. I pretended not to see, but I was seeing all the things that he was doing, from late night meetings, going out of the country, to non-existing meetings, coming back home in the early hours of the morning. Sometimes I'll see that his hands, they will be full of blood, whatever they will be slaughtering. I don't know what kind of animals that they would have slaughtered. And there were nights when he would come back, he would pretend as if he would be at church praying, but I know that he would have gone to those secret meetings. He was doing all fishy things, and I kept on pretending not to see what was happening. He became so much bossy, such that he had no time for the family. Whenever I would try to ask him about his whereabouts, he would just say, I am busy, I am busy, I am trying for us to have a better life. Yes, I was married only on paper, but in real life, I was just a single woman. He brought me all the luxurious items that I could ever dreamed of. He made sure that I had all the money that I needed, and yet in my life, he was never present. Whenever I would ask him where he was or to spend time with me, he would give me an excuse. Then he would tell me to go with the girls shopping. All that he did was to make sure that he bribed me with a lot of money. Then I started to notice that whenever me and him, we would have any kind of intercourse, he preferred that when he was about to come, he would pull out his manhood. Then he would force me to swallow his semen. This behavior just started out of nowhere. He was someone whom we can say he didn't want to do a lot of experiments. But one night when he came back home, he started touching me. Since me and him, we used to spend a long time without any kind of intercourse, I then started touching him back, not knowing what he wanted to do with me. When we were having intercourse, when he was about to come, that is when he pulled out his manhood and forced his manhood into my mouth. This thing, it kept on happening over and over again. Every Sunday, we will get dressed and play a very happy family so that we can just go to church, smile, greet, solve everyone's problem. But deep down, I was just miserable. And this thing that was now happening to me, whereby my man had to produce his semen into my mouth, it was really giving me depression. Every time that I would come up with a business idea, it would be shuttered down. He was never supportive. He was emotionally absent. I went through the death of my parents alone. He even failed to attend. When I came back, he failed to understand that I was grieving. He just wanted a wife. He was just a husband physically, but we had no connection at all. I stayed at home with no intention, with nothing to look forward to, expect cheering him when he had achieved his projects and support him, yet he never came to support me. Let's just say he was busy with life and busy building his church empire, yet neglecting his own wife. He had girls he would sleep with. I knew about it, but I pretended as if I didn't know anything. Every Sunday, we would get to chill, and all the deacons would actually bow down to him as if he was a god. There was this other time that he was carried around church on a chair that looked more like a throne. Sometimes they would actually polish his shoes and hold an umbrella for him. Deep down, I would laugh at those idiots who failed to see that this man was fake and worshipped the ground that he walked on, whilst failing to worship the true God. For 5 years, I stayed a very miserable woman, till one day I saw someone who brought life into my dying soul. There is always someone who is watching you in life, someone who knows your side of the story, and they see how unhappy you are. That someone was the value in me. It then started to make me valued. When my husband was away, he would always be present, and he was always ready to listen and very understanding to me. One day, my husband had gone to his quarterly meeting that he would go for about a month. His friend came and we spoke on how I was being emotionally abused by my husband and how my husband would not even allow me to work. I became so emotional. I cried, and he came and he hugged me and he comforted me. This is the only time in the past 5 years that I had someone actually sympathizing with me and hugging me, and he told me that everything was going to be okay. He was married, so I couldn't call him. He had his own church, just like my own husband. The following day, he came to my house and we spent so much time together, and I had never been this happy in my life. We ended up kissing, and I felt so much bad because I was married and I had never thought of ever cheating on my husband. And this was like the first time to kiss another man who was not my husband. But for the first time in my life, I felt life again. I liked the feeling that I had felt, and I just kept on feeling this way. And those days were filled with joy and happiness. I had totally forgotten about my pastor husband, and to make matters worse, he never even bothered to call me. I was just his trophy wife for the sake of his reputation, but he was never in a relationship with me. This is what these pastors do. You can see them going around with their wives wearing expensive clothes. Never think that their wives are happy. They are not happy at all. They are just trophy wives. Most of these pastors, they go around sleeping with young women. We spend so much time together, and I felt like a high school student. We were so much happy together. Looks like he had problems with his wife too, or what, I don't know. Now, this guy is a pastor too, and birds of the same feathers flock together. He never told me about his work, but he had money. He lived in the lofty suburbs, and he owned almost a fleet of luxurious cars. He had a lot of money, yet he was just a regular church pastor. This was new love, and our love was just amazing. He wanted to be with me at all times. He then invited me to go with him to an all-white party. All white everything, even the underwear was supposed to be white. I understood the assignment, and I ordered my clothes online, all white, like he had requested me to. We went to that party, but I'll not say the place, even the country that I am in, so that I protect myself. The place was at a resort, and the venue was a very big house in a very secluded area in the middle of nowhere. We got to the party. We didn't walk in together with my boyfriend. It was all good. We started to have drinks, chilling with friends. Then there was a soft ring sound. We were all told that it was time. This was my first time being in this event. All the other ones were regulars there, and they were not surprised to see me because this was like my social circle. They thought that I was here representing my husband. We all went into a room that was decorated, but when we went into that room, it seemed that room was decorated as a set for a horror movie. I had never seen anything like that in my life. To think that these people were entering into a room as pastors, a room that was decorated like a set of a horror movie. The room was big, and I saw skeletons and a cake that was shaped like a coffin. That cake, it was really big. I don't know how long it took just to bake that cake because it was really big. It covered the whole dining table, and the dining table, it was just made out of a tree. It was really big. Someone who was a male that looked like a priest then proceeded with cutting the cake. It was served with wine glasses, and to my surprise, the contents of those wine glasses, there was this other kind of a wine that was so thick that at first glance you would think that you are drinking blood. I was told not to worry. The room was tense and was filled with something that looked like smoke, and people started to dip in the cake and drinking whatever wine that they were drinking. I was really shocked, and the song that they played in the background, it was really satanic in nature. Even the lyrics to that song, you would never think that a pastor can ever listen to that kind of music. I had seen enough for the night. I left the room and I went and I sat onto the lobby, even though I knew that my husband was not straightforward. But the things that I saw on that night was just too much. There are other doors that when they are revealed to you, you can actually question your very own existence. Out there, a lot of scary things are happening whilst people walk around not knowing that evil things are being done in the night. Yo, dear listeners, right there was an email that was forwarded to me by one of our admins. Strange things do happen in this world.